Hey, it's Lauren. Actually, just I'm sitting in my friend or at my parents' house in Maine. It's a beautiful day. I actually just wanted to talk about my last detox, which was relatively recent. Now again, um, and how difficult it was. It was probably honestly the most difficult withdrawal that I've had. Which surprised me because I relapsed for the least amount of time, but I mean, your body changes and your metabolism changes, your hormones, and I'm not really sure why, but probably the amount that I was using, and also the fact that 75% of heroin now is laced with fentanyl or just like completely fentanyl, um, which can make a detox a lot harder, at least from what I've heard, or just people's opinions. I don't know. I try not to listen too much to what like doctors say about addiction. I hate to say that. I'm not a doctor. Nothing I'm saying is obviously I'm not giving medical advice. I just speaking from personal experience, but every doctor that I've dealt with doesn't know what to do because they haven't been through it themselves. And I was lucky enough once to have a doctor that used to be like addicted to oxys, and he was the best doctor that I ever had because he totally understood what I was coming from, and he would understand when I was just like totally freaking out for no reason. He knew when I was full of shit, um, and he knew what needed to be done, which most of the time was pretty much nothing. It was just to kind of let everything run its course. And there's tons of withdrawal aids. I've talked about them before. Some that you need a prescription for, like clonidine, and like Finnegan for nausea is another good one. Any type of benzo, like Xanax or Clonopin. Clonopin is actually a better one because it's not as addicting and it lasts way longer. Um, and so this last time when I withdrew, I basically just used uh, the Clonopins and a little tiny piece of Suboxone, like the first day, and clonidine, and the Finnegan, which is anti-nausea. It's like a really strong antihistamine. That combined with the clonidine just made me really tired, and I have a muscle relaxer too, so I kind of just slept. But the reason it was so hard is because I was so goddamn depressed and emotional, more than I ever had. Like, it makes me want to cry right now because I'm still feeling that way. Like, anything makes me cry. Like, if I see like a baby laugh in a commercial, I'll cry. Or I fucking watched Pretty Woman yesterday for some reason. I don't even like the movie, and I fucking cried. I watched 50 Shades of Grey and I cried for Christ's sake. Like, I've never even wanted to watch that movie. There isn't even anything to cry about in the movie. It just reminded me of somebody, and I thought of this person, and that made me cry. So I guess I'm kind of lost for words right now, but the reason that it's been so hard again is just the emotional stuff, and most of the time that is the biggest battle. That's the biggest challenge for everybody. Is overcoming all the I hate to call it pause. I mean, that's the best way to put it. The post-acute withdrawal. You know, I've talked about it before. It's not that I think that it's bullshit. I just think that everything that you were covering up before is now coming to the surface. And I mean, obviously that's going to happen. You know, you've been covering it up with drugs for so long, and you have to retrain your brain now to think a different way. So I'm still kind of in this space where I'm not working and I'm not really very social and I'm not really doing anything at all except sometimes I'm making some art, and sometimes I hang out with a good friend of mine who's pretty much the only friend that I have left in Maine. Um, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard, man. And if any of y'all right now are literally going through the withdrawal, like, I feel it. I feel for you. I still don't feel that great. But you can take a look back. Some of my older videos are literally, I took them on the days that I was going through withdrawal, and I probably looked awful. And I look awful right now still, just because it's not that I'm not taking care of myself. It's just that if you've ever been in a deep depression, you kind of know that, like, what makeup and just what you're wearing and things like that don't fucking tend to really matter very much. And again, like I said, I'm not working, so I have no reason really to get up and pamper myself and make myself look normal. So this is me, never makeup or my hair's never really done. I have wavy hair naturally. I just don't really care. And that's not what these videos are about. I'm not a fucking makeup guru or like some fashion person or whatever it is. I'm just an addict. I'm recovering, and I'm an artist too, and I travel. But it's pretty boring. Other than that, I just yeah, I don't know. Even though I'm just talking to a screen right now, I know that some people will watch this, and it does make me feel a little bit better sharing the stories and hearing back from people their stories. And it's just, I think that this is just such an important thing because it's taking over the entire country right now. And it's specifically bad in certain places, particularly the Northeast where I live and where I'm from. Um, and more needs to be done about it. So I don't know what it is that I want to do yet, but I'm hoping that eventually I can work with other addicts in recovery and help them in some way because there isn't enough help. There isn't enough help there. There's never going to be enough help. They're never going to be able to catch up to it. I mean, I would like to say that they will, but I don't want to get into politics or anything. But the last thing on anybody's mind right now, as far as like funding goes, is going to be for drug addiction. People are thinking about it and people are talking about it because so many people are dying, but it's going to take a while for it to change. So all the other addicts out there, we kind of have to just change it for ourselves. And if nobody else is going to help us, then even though it sucks, sometimes you're forced to help yourself. That's what I've had to do many, many times. I have had help. I've gone to really nice rehabilitation centers and had really awesome counselors and psychiatrists and like really great support. But um, I'm just really hard headed, and I think that I have to do it alone. And the best times that I've had is when I've been on the road traveling, camping, and just sort of struggling, but on my own to make it work. And I needed that to help me overcome everything else that I was going through. So right now, I'm looking into doing something like that again, trying to raise some money to do that. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated though. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about the last road trip that I took and what it did for my recovery and how it actually really made me feel. And I think that the last two road trips that I took actually really changed me, changed something in me probably forever, which is a good thing. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing good. And I appreciate you watching these videos, even though I have no idea who you are. But yeah, good luck and love and light. And I'll talk to you guys soon.